Gaining access to who the people think is popular. All these episodes could never drop enough. Now we up.
You could have been anywhere today, but you're here with us. I am your host, KD, my co-host, Mondo, and this is the Uncut Podcast. And y'all know, just like always, we try to have the biggest names and personalities with us. And today, we have another very unique personality. He's known by a lot of different things out there on the streets. We know him as an entrepreneur, a father, businessman, label owner, manager. List goes on and on and on. But y'all know who we talking about. Big U's in the house, y'all.
How you doing, man?
Night bud.
No doubt, bro.
Hey, look, man, I got one question.
Go ahead.
It's Barbershop, but you didn't introduce Barbershop.
No, so Barbershop Uncut is actually the platform, but this actual podcast is called Uncut Podcast.
Uncut. So we're in the barbershop. Nobody got cut hair.
Oh, we actually have a barbershop too. So every one of our interviews, except for this one, has been done in our barbershop.
Well, why we do it in the barbershop?
Oh, man, because you're high profile. We had to do an off-site location.
Yeah, we can't just have you all
Yeah,
up
we can't just have everybody
in
know
the
where you're
streets
at all
like
the
that,
time.
man.
I don't know why not.
I mean, you never know.
It's good business practice, you know.
I do know.
And everybody on your team really cares about you.
No doubt, bro. And you're like I said, you're.
So we hiding in the box some goddamn way.
Oh, it's I guess you could call it a box, but this is a pretty high profile studio too.
Shout out to
Side 3 Studios. This is I mean,
Hey, we're at 5-3 Studios,
Side
y'all.
3.
Side 3 Studios.
yeah, Side 3. Hey, Lil Wayne. I mean, the name you name them, like they done been through this motherfucker from rap to rock to R&B. Like it's been some major hits made out this motherfucker. So this room might be small in particular, but this studio.
Hey, yo, we hiding.
Nah.
We're taking precautions, you know what I'm saying? Like, and we feel that
No.
You
You're
know what
just
I'm
moving right.
yeah, we moving right. In this game, and that's how we did. That's
The
how
president don't hide. He just moves right.
that's how you keep.
No, he be hiding.
That's how you keep good standing and good practice, man. But this your first time in Colorado, or you been through?
No, I've been through here a couple of times. I did. We came through with Nip on the game tour. I came through here with Gunner tour. I've been through here with Snoop and with Wiz.
Okay.
Several times.
So I
never been out though.
Okay. So we doing pretty much what they do. They making sure you're safe and not safe,
You
but
gotta make sure I'm safe. I got a team here.
yo, yeah, y'all straight. You know what I'm
We
saying?
got a team.
But,
I got a team in almost all the states.
So what I mean, as far as going out, what you mean? You've been wanting to go to some clubs, some bars, the casino.
I just got here.
Okay,
We just pulled in. We just drove in.
no doubt. What's your favorite club you've been to?
I ain't
so
never
far
been to a
then?
club
No?
like that.
Okay.
What about steakhouse?
I don't eat meat.
Oh, okay.
I don't eat meat. I don't eat nothing that bleed.
Okay.
I stay away from all that.
Word up.
I ain't there in 30 years.
I went to my-
33 years.
I went to my phase like that. I lasted like 2 years probably.
No, you
They
didn't.
kept taking me to Ruth's Chris and Ocean Farm and shit.
Now, I stopped being at over 33 years ago. My son is 30. My middle son is 33. So
Hey, people don't know how healthy that is and how much that helps your skin and your blood flow and your energy and
no, it really
know,
does.
like
I see it more now as I'm older. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm happy that I took on that practice years ago.
yeah.
Because I could compare myself to most of my brothers and partners with my age, and you can see the difference.
Oh yeah. They I mean, yeah, and I mean just doing time too. Like I'm 45, just turning 45 on Wednesday, and everybody's like, that is this and that. But being back there behind the walls, like you had the meat they gave you, the little chickens or whatever, but most of the time you eating peanut butter, oatmeal, ramens, and
because it's some unhealthy people in jail.
yeah,
Man,
they be on them Snickers.
It's
and
gonna
shit.
be. It's about
Snickers with
working
peanut
out though,
butter and
because
shit.
most of the time, unfortunately, you take on the practice of staying healthy.
Yeah,
Because you ain't got nothing else to do. But if you chose not to do that, you be just as unhealthy.
you can though.
You could be just. I seen dudes go to prison and come out Worse than they was when they left.
I seen it. I ain't gonna front. Well, speaking of that, leading up to all that, man, like just doing some research, like your upbringing. He's from California, and I've only been there a
What
couple
part
times.
of California you from?
I'm from San Bernardino mainly.
San Bernardino.
Yeah.
He barely made it. They was kind of like far out. California, they like on the other side.
I lived in Whittier, East LA, Long Beach a little
Now
bit.
Now he in the city.
Yeah. We're moving around.
He took me to Long Beach last time, and that shit was dope. Turning off the highway and see that long ass trip.
Long Beach is a trip, right?
I only went down.
It's so different now.
Was you shocked at how small it was?
You know what? We didn't. He took me to this restaurant that was popping.
It made it seem like we were on a whole date, bro. He took me to Long Beach.
But he took me to his town. You know what I'm saying? And showed me some spots. So I think that's what you're supposed to do.
How long you been out here? How do you get to Denver from LA?
I had a friend that moved here, and it was going good, and he wanted to start a business, and I just took a leap of faith, and it's been good to me. Yeah, staying out of trouble, starting businesses, and doing stuff like this.
That makes sense.
Yeah, dude. That's how you stay on top of things, man. And that shows probably why you're where you're at. Growing up in South Central. I know one of the earliest videos I saw, you were on a basketball court and you was talking about you and your cousins when y'all were in the Arlington gang. And y'all had a little, I don't know if it was the curl or the perms, and y'all had the little short ass NBA shorts on, and it was just like a whole different life. You know what I'm saying? Into starting from there, bro.
No, we was gang man.
Yeah.
I wasn't no. We was full on gang man. Right,
y'all was okay.
We was on some bullshit.
Okay.
That video was probably at the highest point of gang banging I was ever at. Because I think that video was probably 84, 85. 1984, 85.
Okay.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was like every day it was going down.
So how old would you say you was then?
I would have been
18.
18. Because I just came back to California.
So what age would you say that you realized that your name was ringing some bells, carrying some weight in the
when the Hoovers used to write Big U Kill on the wall.
You're like, oh.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Damn.
It was crazy.
Okay. But you was around that time, around 18, or was that a little younger?
I was 18. When I came back, because I was after Lil Fee called his case. Lil Fee came home, Bruce Communication. Then I was in Chicago. Then I came home.
Okay.
And then it was almost, the ignorance was like competing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was real. The ignorance was at that age, it was just all about stupidity and ignorance.
And it's new. You know what I'm saying? The dope game is popping off. And
we weren't really on no dope.
No.
Not at that age. It was more like, you can kind of tell too, like some people were selling dope. Some people just full on just gang banging.
Yeah.
And then other people was kind of like wobbling and, whatever they was doing. But no, I wasn't ever really a dope dealer.
Yeah.
Ever really, you know what I mean?
Well, you were saying that you was known for them hands, back in the day before they
Well, we did.
popping,
we was different. We was different. I studied fighting from shit. My mother had 13 brothers and sisters. It was 13 brothers and sisters.
Oh man.
It was 10 boys. They from the ruralest part of Columbus, Mississippi. And only one went past the third grade was my mother. And my mother went to college playing basketball, so she was an athlete. And so everybody from there was all fighting, was all squabbling. So if you got 10 uncles and they come out here and you got 15 first cousins, what you think? Then we got into martial arts.
Damn.
At an early age, so it was like that's
what's the furthest you went to martial arts? Any particular belt, or did you just?
Yeah, I'm a black belt.
Oh shit! Okay,
I've been doing it all my life.
That's dope. And is that something that you teach?
I still teach. I have a karate school right now in Hawthorne, 119th Hawthorne Boulevard. We still teach right now.
That's dope. So, for y'all out there who want to get your kids into something positive and get them
They
trained.
don't come. I didn't offer free classes. It's crazy because I don't offer free classes to our kids, my football kids. They like, no, I don't want to come. They want to go 2-3 days. Then it's like,
We think that's a discipline aspect of it kicking in, or why do you think they
I
don't want
don't
to
know.
stay?
I think it'd be more the parents, man. The parents because the kids have fun.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah, I don't see a kid not wanting to go.
Yeah, you're right. That was what I'm saying that probably. But I think it'd be more the parents. Because I'm like, here, come for 3 months for free. You know, and then they
Dang, how you ain't gonna bring your kid for 3 months
For
free?
free.
Yeah. But it'd be scheduling too, though. So I know some of my parents would be like, you was missing, you was traveling. And I'm so yeah.
Oh, they want you to teach.
No, it's me and other instructors. As a black belt, you have to teach so many classes every month.
No, but I'm saying the parents want you to teach.
No, I wasn't just it don't matter. You'll get there. Sometime I'll be gone like right here. I got football practice today. Today is the first day of our official football practice. The season starting right
Oh,
now.
word. Well, we appreciate you being here with us, man.
What would you
that's
say
hella
the importance of sports or any of the combat sports be for the youth to take up?
I believe sports is. I'm opposite. I'm totally opposite. I believe sports is a major tool in the way our society is now to keep kids occupied, to help them learn about unity, camaraderie, being how to be team members. I think sports is to me, I use it as a major key
Yeah.
to getting kids to the next level. So I take it seriously because I can see, and you can see kids who play sports, the way they conduct themselves and the way they move, and then you can see the ones who didn't. Not that it's a negative, but you can see that these kids who are good in sports can be good at almost anything.
Yeah.
They put their mind.
They have a
to it.
certain focus, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying, as well.
Yeah, but I mean that's not to say that the kid who don't do sports, and do it because all the billionaires didn't play no sports.
Yeah.
All the ones that own the sports teams didn't play sports.
The
All the
parents are
Silicon Valley owners of all these these franchises, they ain't do nothing but play a keyboard.
Yeah. But it's the ones out there on the field that's known, though.
Well, I would like to go deeper into that if I can. What would you say, just because I'm interested personally? So, do you think it's as important for people of low income as it is to like suburban kids?
What do you mean, sports?
Sports, yeah.
That's a crazy question because
I happen to coach at a high school basketball, right? And the kids there are in a more privileged neighborhood than what I'm used to, and it doesn't seem to have that same poise that you get from underprivileged neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's because of the portrayal of the sport, the success of the sport,
Yeah.
and because if you ever want to reach or touch a black or brown millionaire, it came from athlete. Almost all of them came from some
course.
sport, and so in our program, that's why it's important for me to bring other people around the athletes around our kids so they can meet and encounter other people.
Yeah.
And I do that a lot with the girls, and because I feel like it's not a lot of sports for girls, and I tend to like want them to understand that there's something for you too. And then to your question, I'm in that area too. I deal with a lot of kids who have it, and they don't look at sports as their way out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They look at it like, yeah, I'm playing it, but then you'll get the one or two who just finds out, well, damn, I'm kind of good.
Yeah.
So then when he find out he kind of good, guess where he want to go? He want to go to the hood to try his talent against the hood.
AAU teams and all
And,
that.
you'll see it. You can see it because I have been with the kids who had it, and like mom was just paying $500 just for practices. I mean, for training.
Yeah.
They paying $500 a month for their son to be trained. And then you got these other kids who like, nah, I got to get it in a sandbox.
Yeah.
So I've seen it in all those different looks, and like you said, like they don't approach it because they don't see it as their way out. You know what I mean?
Okay, so just to not really beat down sports and all that, but I want to know. So since this is his first time coaching, I want to say privileged kids. You coach kids who are more fortunate. Is there a difference?
I've coached privileged kids too.
And I don't mean, anyone could be having a hard life in whatever way, but
You
I'm just
never
talking
know.
about economically,
Yes.
I would say.
Is there, how should I say this, an easier route coaching kids who live a better life opposed to those who don't?
It's definitely. Well, let me give you a comparison right now. I coach in the Crenshaw district, right? We are not as fluid as everybody think we are.
Yeah.
Well, our area has 60% foster children because most of the parents who are in our area, we have more housing, more houses. People own more property. So when kids are separated from their parents, they go to their grandparents, aunties, and people who have houses. So that means that in our area, we're dealing with a lot of foster care,
Yeah.
as opposed to what people think. They think our area is affluent, is great, but it is when you go further up the hill, further west, down Slauson. So yeah, when you were dealing with, now when it gets to the high school, and you have the Jesuits, you have the St. Bernard's, you have the Sarah High Schools, you have all the schools, but then you have us at Crenshaw, and our head coach G-Man does a phenomenal job because what we're faced with, and he could tell you on his side of town the same as ours, you got kids that don't got shoes.
Mm-hmm.
You got kids that may not want to come to school because they don't got nothing else new, nothing clean to wear. You know what I mean? And then you may have a hell of an athlete who does great in school, but he don't have nothing to eat at home.
Yeah.
So we feeding the kids, taking them home, picking them up, and encouraging them all at the same time. Now transfer that to Beverly Hills High, transfer it to Sarah where they can pay to go to school. They don't got that. Coach come up, kid pull up. You know, he ate breakfast, got a lunch, he got money,
Snacks.
he got all, you know what I mean? He got all of this different stuff. Where our kids is like, shit, I don't know where you gonna eat. They staying after school. We didn't have kids, man, that we didn't even know until we had to find out later on was sleeping with their parents in the car. You know what I mean? So these are things that these Jesuits don't have to coach against. You don't got to coach your best athlete and you trying to feed him at the same time. You know what I mean? So no, it's a major difference. They may have one kid who's challenged. We got 30 that's challenged even getting to school, getting from school, playing the sport, you know what I mean? And then being dominant in the sport and you being talked about on the news and the newspaper, but you ain't got nothing to eat.
That's just dope. That's dope because that just goes, just me personally, just from what I've witnessed, that just goes almost totally against perception of you from what people can like look up on social media or whatever, and then to hear you speak the way you do about, you know, the way you, you actually care about these kids. I mean, not saying you don't, but it's just dope to hear that. Like, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, I look at it like, man, look, this social media thing, it's such a new phenomenon, and it's meant to be what it's meant to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is what it's meant to be.
It's meant to be what it's meant to be. It's empowered a lot of ignorance in people, and you know, it's made people who were bigger smaller, and smaller bigger for a period of time. You know what I mean? I look at it like shit. I got to just keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a dude who was in prison, and I did 4 years in the hole, 4.5 years. You know, three and a half in the shoe. So I look at it like I get up every day. I'm free. I can move. You know what I mean? You got to be happy of that. And I got 9 young men who graduated from college in the last 2 years. Who can beat that?
That's hella sick.
Can't none of them do that. You know what I mean? That I started with a 30-man team with my youngest son, and that's, you know, you get 30 kids and you coach them all the way up. I got 9 that graduated from college.
Still
You know what I
going.
mean?
It's still
I
counting.
don't care what nobody said. I got 9. So I had did a show, and this young lady was trying to argue with me. And, you know, she on the internet stuff, and this is call in and all. I'm like, look, that's why I don't do platforms.
Yeah.
Because I'm not trying to prove who I am. I am actually doing
Yeah.
what I'm doing. I'm not trying to tell you what I'm doing. I'm actually doing it. Like, how many people are gonna be able to come and say this? How many kids with what I have had put through? Is she gonna tell me, well, we need to? It ain't about football players. It's about we need to have politicians and people who can run. I said, well, maybe you didn't just hear what I just said. I got 9 boys from this community who graduate from college. They can go be every and anything.
You didn't say on a sports scholarship.
You know what I mean? They didn't graduate from a football program. They graduate from college. So that means starting tomorrow, they could be your judge, your lawyer, your doctor, whatever they need to be.
Yeah.
They graduated from college, from D1 colleges. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now how many did you get? How many you graduate?
Yeah.
And so I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm gonna leave it at that because I'm not here to do the arguing. I'm not gonna spouse that. I'm here for all positive. You know what I mean? I know how to be negative. But that just goes to, you know what I mean? That just goes to show where we are in our society today, where we can only sell if it's negative.
Yeah.
We have to put the splash symbol up there where Big U says woo woo. Or such says we need the clicks. It's about business. So, I mean, you know, you have to figure if that's how you want to live your life or not.
Speaking of that, in '85, I was 8 years old. I can remember the hatchbacks. I think I remember maybe even the pull-out, maybe? I don't know.
The who?
The pull-out stereos and all that
Oh, yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Bro, since from back then to having a pull-out stereo to not even having cordless house phones to now, or what do you think of social media and technology from comparing it from then to now? Like, not many people can say they've been around when the TVs turned off at 12 o'clock and there was nothing else to watch.
None known it. I was talking.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the shit used to go black and white.
Used to go black and white.
At 12. TV
Yeah, real
done.
talk. And now, but then there was one show that you could catch, and it was the Benny Hill show.
Hill. Oh, shit.
Stop it.
I've been trying to look that shit up.
Yeah, the Benny Hill show. You had to get. You had
You
to
know
know
what that is,
that.
Mondo?
I don't.
Oh, this
Oh,
is white
man.
the perverted white dude. They used to show titties.
Every
That show
day.
was.
It
My
was British.
stepdad had a big ass satellite in the backyard.
Yes.
Just like
to
on
catch
regular
You had to
Yeah,
Channel
catch.
like-
7 or what?
You had to wire it, and
Yeah.
we was like he said, you would have to have an antenna. You had to catch it, you had to wire it. We try to catch it.
Yeah, it was satellite after hours. It was
Yeah,
like
it
some
was-
shit
it
he'd
was
be
on.
in jail for right now.
Yes.
Bro.
Yeah,
yes.
he'd be in jail.
Yeah, he was womanizing. He was gay bashing, but he was he did everything. It was
It
crazy.
just funny. It was just.
He-
Oh, he's not alive no more?
I'm-
No, he's dead. He
Yeah,
died. He died. But he died very wealthy. He died very. You know when he started the Benny Hill show, Faison said it on our show, and he was like, he that was his first success, and it was a
Really?
hit, phenomenal. But no, you say that. Yeah, to me it's crazy to see how far things have advanced. I was talking about the computer chip when I went to prison in 2004. Right, I was always into like electronics and tinkering and all that stuff. I grew up doing that. So when I got to prison, I started getting income opportunity, business now, electronics magazines. I used to get those.
Yeah.
And in the back of the magazine, I used to run these scams. I used to run the scams out the back of the magazines, like to donate money to my kids and do all this. I did all the scams. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. So,
Over here.
I was getting it bad. So I used to write all the different companies
From prison?
from prison in the magazines. You get the
Okay.
magazine, and if you would write them one letter, they would send you all kind of shit. I used to get all kind of computers. So before it jumped and the computers came what they are, I was getting computers and computer chips, CDs. They were sending me whole libraries and shit. They'll send to the prison, and the prison send it home. And I watched it grow because I was getting income opportunity. I was getting electronics now. And I feel like I missed that wealth curve. I watched all of that happen. I was in prison trying to tell my family, no, go to these classes. They'll give you the classes free.
Yeah.
They'll show you how to become a computer programmer. All of that, bro. I was trying to tell them all that, look, TV's about to change. Because when they started developing the lithium chips,
Yeah.
I was reading all about all that. I sit in prison, read all that shit, man. I watched all of that change. And then I watched it go from using micronoids and all that and developing them and moving that and how we advanced in science. We haven't even actually seen the level of growth electronics is gonna move to in the next in the next 20
right
years.
now.
Yeah, to be even remember where we were, they are gonna be able in the next 10 years to be able to have touch, where they can computer and tell what your touch is from microwaves, from your brain waves. They'll be able to do that real soon here.
Wait,
So-
I'm not understanding. Like when we're FaceTiming, you could touch the person instead.
No, not to touch the person, but they'll be able to have it where you can, they can touch onto your touch.
Oh, like the metaverse type deal.
Not the metaverse, but actually have computers feel and operate just off of your brain waves. They have it.
That's what Elon Musk is trying to do with that kind of that chip.
All that.
shit.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
For sure.
Bro, this shit is finna. Just thinking of where we came from, and then for me, going to prison and doing 13 years, coming home in 2004, being gone from 1991 to 2004, the major thing to me was the growth of the how many people had cell phones.
Yeah.
Because when I left in 1991, it was probably 1 out of 10 dudes had a cell phone.
Attached to the car.
Nah, we had brick phone. Nokia just
okay.
came out, the brick phone, and Nokia came out with the small. They started getting smaller and smaller, and it was at that time was what, $1 a minute, $2 and something at peak hours, and we were stealing numbers. You had you had to
Corporate
steal
numbers
chips,
and
corporate
shit.
numbers, and all that stuff. And then when I came home in 2004, everybody had a cell phone. I'm like, damn. It was crazy.
Now some people got two.
And some people got two. And more than that. So that was one of the biggest changes that I seen
Word.
was the cell phone and the access to information. That was
That had to been quite a change, a shocker to come out and just be like, God damn. Like,
well, yeah, because when I came home, I asked my son to show me how to make an email and then how to check the email. And he was getting frustrated on showing me how to do it. And then I said, okay, no problem. I had purchased my house. And then I purchased my house in 1991. No, in 2009, 2010. So I purchased before that, 2004. So it was about 2007, 2008, 1.1 million, right, in my neighborhood. And we had a basement, and I still have a basement. And I went in my basement, and I locked in my basement, and I learned how to make emails, work the internet. YouTube hadn't even came. It was just talked about. Facebook, it was Facebook, MySpace, and all of those. I learned how to do all of that, how to program it, I taught myself how to do all that. I had every book for dummies you could get. You know what I'm saying? Because I was tired of asking people how to check an email. And so I was like, okay, fuck it. I don't really go to clubs.
yeah.
Most I really do is play video games. So I'm like, okay, look. So I just went to go study. And I went to go learn how to do all of that. And I had every book for dummies. And then I was just that kind of dude. I go out and I'll go read, and I'll sub out 3 hours, 4 hours a day to figure out like how to do something.
So did the majority of your education did you get in prison? From what
Well, I would say because I did so much time. I would say, in fact,
like
that's a
learning
fact.
how to read and stuff like that. Is that
My
something you
mother
did?
was that. My mother was when I say learn how to read, I really be talking about reading people.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? When I say learn how to read and write, I learn how to read and write people. My mother was very smart, and I rebelled against all of the education because I wanted to be like my cousins. I wanted to be rebellious. You know what I mean? But my mother made us read, made me do all that. If I didn't have homework, my mother was gonna make me do it. You know what I'm saying? But when I say that, I caught a case in 1991 after I caught my controlling case, the drug case that sent me to prison. I caught another case where some guys stabbed the police, and then they charged me and some other dudes with it. saying we was there or some shit. But it was like a couple of hours. But so that case is where I learned the law.
Yeah.
Because of that case, I went per. And that opened up my world. That opened up my world to education. But what confirmed it was one incident when I got to prison at the Hatchery reception center. My homeboys, you know, when you go to prison, your homies look out for you. My homies looked out for me as soon as I hit the yard. They gave me a TV, they gave me a hot pot, they gave me all the shit you ain't supposed to have in the reception center. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to have or not. So they give me all this shit, but before they had gave it to me, you only have, if you ever been to prison, well, you know, when you first get there, the only thing they're gonna give you is the rule books.
Yeah.
If you get a rule book, you're in a cell by yourself, or you got a cellie, you are. So I'm in this, and I read the rule book. That's all you got to read. That and the Bible. And I'm reading the rule book, and I'm just reading it back and forth. They hit my cell, took all the stuff out my homies they gave me, trashed the cell for no apparent reason.
Pretty much, you got a TV and hot pot, microwave and shit in intake.
And it's crazy, but I don't know it's crazy because it's my first time in prison. I don't know I'm not supposed to have it. I know the homie sent it to me.
Yeah.
They done took it, but they didn't have to trash the cell.
Yeah.
What year is this?
This is I go in 1991. So it was about 1992 I actually finished my case. I'm in prison, Hatchery. And they do that. Now this is where I learned the power of education, which helped me forever. I wrote a 602 from memory because they took the Title 15 too. They took the rules book from me. I wrote my 602 from memorizing from what they had, what I read, and I wrote the Title 15 on how they supposed to treat a sales search. If they take something, they supposed to relieve receipts and all that. I wrote the Title 15. I wrote my 602 complaint and stuck it under the door. I already knew how to write 1982, which is a civil complaint, which is what you do after you file a complaint against any civil servant. You could turn it into a civil complaint. And I wrote that, sent it to him, told him it's going to turn it into a 1983 form, and put it under the door, and kept on going to trial. By the time I came to trial, they was sitting there. We can't give you the TV back. We can't, but we're going to give you this. We're going to let you be deported. We're going to do this. Please drop this. And I'm like, wow. So it was at that point in my life, I understood that you could take everything from me, but you can't take the knowledge that I acquired.
Yeah.
And then that changed how I did prison. That changed how I went about looking at prison. So from there, I didn't want to read nothing that was going to be counterproductive to being successful. So I didn't order hip hop magazines. I didn't order that. I read that when I picked it up. But I read everything. I ordered, like I said, a big business income opportunity, electronics now. And that led me to say that I wanted to have enough information so when I came home, because I had a date, I wanted to be somebody who could be productive to my community. Yeah. Not only to my house, but to my community. And so I studied like that and I prepared like that. And anybody who ever did prison time with me will tell you, while I was in prison, I wrote it. Everything I'm doing right now to this day, I wrote it out. I just didn't know when it would happen, how it would happen. I wrote it all out.
That's crazy because I saw an interview and where it said two things that that stood out to me. And one was before, I guess you caught the case, how the police was mad at you. And this just talks about your mind state at the time before you went to prison, how they was mad at you because you was introducing brothers to Farrakhan and Islam. And then you had said that your thought of how you thought about black people or how you treated black people had already changed before you even went in.
Yeah, it changed before I went to prison. So I'm not supposed to talk about it because it's part of our book, but it was on the road from Chicago to Minnesota that I read Malcolm X's autobiography.
Yeah.
And then that changed me. I cut my hair off. I didn't want to sell dope. It eventually still because I didn't have nothing else I can do. So I was like, fuck it, just start doing, robbing or whatever have you. So, and that was at that time that I met Jim Brown. I started back playing semi-pro football. And I met Jim Brown. I went up to his house. We was going through the American It was before he even had a fully established American. So Jim helped me get there. And then Jim, at turn, introduced all of us to the Minister Louis Farrakhan. From there, I became a student of Minister Louis Farrakhan, and I'm still to this day.
Word.
And we was, and so he has just started the Stop the Killing. Damn, 1984. It was Stop the Killing or Stop the. It was one of those.
Was that the whole self-destruction and all that stuff? Was that based on it?
No, that was self-destruction. That was with Public Enemy and all that. But he was doing a Stop the Killing around the country, and I was taking people, my homies, to the meetings and doing that. And unbeknownst to us, it was an issue.
Oh, wow.
Because they was building their situation. They had a federal indictment going down on me and my big homie and a couple more people, which after he got killed came out in the newspaper. And that's when they dubbed me second in command of the Rolling 60s because Stone got killed. So that was led up by a federal indictment that they was trying to push. And that's where that name came from that. And he was the number one. I was supposed to be, and then, but now I was in prison. They was making sure I wasn't going to come home. He had died. He had got killed. They was like, fuck it. Let it go. Moving on. And so they moved on.
Word. Huh. All that's in the book, y'all.
Yeah.
The upcoming book, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we in the process.
You got a name for it already?
No, it's a deal with these other cats that own a name that I want to use. And so I'm doing something with them. Eventually we'll get the name.
Word on.
If not, it's easy to create a name.
Yeah.
It might even call it Big U.
Hey. I mean, shit, it's been working all this time.
Yeah. Shit.
So where did you get the drive, do you think, to do community work after all the things you used to do, You said you acted a lot like a knucklehead when you were young, so.
Yeah, really. I mean, when you start studying, and the drive in me is knowing the shit that I did do. And if you believe there's a heaven on the day of Yama Kiyama, do you want to go down or up? If it's a down or up, I don't want to go down. If it's a heaven, I don't want to go. If it's a heaven, I want to go.
Yeah.
If it's a hell, I don't want to go. If we just move into another bird or a planet or seed or ant, still, I want to do what I need to do right to, it's about your legacy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think about it all the time, and then I have to rein myself in. You know what I mean? Because of the bullshit that I see and I know, you know what I mean? So it's really that. Like, I don't want to be remembered as the person who was the most destructive person to our people and our culture. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how I fight. I hear a lot of people say, I don't give a fuck what nobody think. No, that ain't really true. I kind of do. I kind of want to be the guy who does the right thing opposed to the guy who does the worst thing. I'm capable of doing a whole lot of shit. You know what I mean? But I would rather be known for somebody who did it and did it right, who helped more people than I hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then that's my motivation. It's all based in being selfish. I want to make sure my kids don't fall to the sword. You know what I mean? So I want to stop gang banging. I don't want them to get caught in that. I want to make sure that I can put other things out there. When I signed Nipsey, I sat there and made sure we didn't do nothing that was going to be offensive to nobody else. But being who we were was going to be offensive. But I went through all of the music and the videos. And when I signed him, it was an understanding that we're going to push this line this way. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I was looking for mail. I left Death Row, and I was coming back to my neighborhood. And what people don't know is Suge gave us 2 months in the studio. When I was signing Nip, Suge gave me 2 months studio time for Nip. And he had a couple of dudes give us beats and all that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Suge was real instrumental in the beginning of it. When we first got started, then we started moving. Suge and Steve had their little thing that was going on, and because Steve was using the N-word, and Suge had a problem with that. So when I came home, that was a whole nother issue. And so anyway, when we started moving, we just started going a different direction. But Suge was always, bro, he was always 100 in the aspect. And like I said, it was very important that we do it the right way. And Nip was the one who had already been down this conscious line. Then he started doing more of the hood, and then it was easy for me to make suggestions, and for him to take the music this direction. And because you remember the first movie he was dropping was Bullets Ain't Got No Name,
Yeah.
but Nip had music prior to that spoke to conscious content.
Yeah.
So when I was looking for artists, I'm like, okay,
He kind of found a way to put it together.
yeah, he could do that. And it would eventually elevate. You know what I mean? And so he was that cat.
And speaking of that line, like, have you ever met any other, not necessarily musicians, but celebrities in your path from the '80s till now? You know what I'm saying? That have played any kind of instrumental part in building you and help you with this music lane that you're in now.
I mean, I see artists all the time. I don't know kind of what the question was, but
Like as far as giving you like I don't want to say good advice, but like boom, like this is a lane or something, or for targeting big time record labels, they're listening for this or this sound, or,
let me say this. My passion and my love has always been film
yeah,
from day one. I wrote several movies before I even paroled. I've always written movies, although I can't spell for shit. That's always been my passion.
yeah,
So even when me and Nip had went our separate ways for a period, I didn't never stop doing. I started doing more film.
yeah,
I was kind of like music can be what it's gonna be. I was doing film. I did Force of Execution. I did White T-shirts. I did we did Rapid Kane. I started managing Ving Rhames. I was booking Ving Rhames. I was just why if you see most of the movies I was doing because I was managing, I was doing that. I was making a bag.
yeah,
You know what I mean? The music I never made a dime.
yeah,
You understand? The time I was with Nip, we wasn't even getting paid to do nothing. We was paying to do everything. Mm-hmm. Everything we was doing, we was paying to do. Nip never got a chance to get the bag.
yeah.
I was getting the bag just managing Ving. I'm booking Ving in Mission Impossible. We get $7 million. Imagine what I get off of that. I'm booking him in all these little small shows, all these little small movies. They calling me, we got, I can't say his numbers, but for 1 hour. You know what I'm saying? If you go look at his day rate, you know what I mean? I'm for 1 hour. He called me. If it's something small, I do it. If it's something big, his agent does it. But if it's small, we get in the bag and it's cash, call Big U. You know what I mean? So I'm eating continuously. So it's always crazy to me when people talking about I was somewhere bitter and hurting. I'm like, okay, well, fuck it. Can't address everything.
Yeah, you can't, bro.
I mean, but my son knew, you know what I mean? So he like, when it's time to go, he like, come on, Unc, you ready? I'm signing with Atlanta. We about to take off. Let's do this. All right, come on, let's go. But I wasn't really trying to push music. And then when Nip came back after he signed with Atlanta, was like, we want to do this. He opened that fire back up.
Yeah.
And that's when I went and got OSBS. And like I started back moving in music. But up until that, I really wasn't in music. I would, press some, push play, use my Instagram or Twitter to help promote whatever, one of my little homies or whatever have you. But music wasn't there. Like I'm still doing it. You know what I mean? And I was setting up to do Hip Hop Uncovered. That was finna take off. We signed that deal with Hip Hop Uncovered right before Nip died. And then he died, and it pushed it even faster.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was right where I was trying to be. And then the success of Hip Hop Uncovered only opened up more doors for me to continue doing what I love to do.
Is that the first series you produced?
Well, series.
Series.
It's the first series, but it's not the first documentary. My first documentary I produced was Jam Master Jay, 2 turntables and a microphone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I executive produced that.
Okay.
Go far back. My
You
first,
some hitters, huh?
yeah, my first $4 million film was with Steven Seagal, Ving Rhames, Steven Seagal, Danny Trejo, and myself and Gilly the Kid.
So
I wrote that script.
So
Go
even
watch
though-
the movie.
That's dope.
even though you're more into film, I feel like the consensus from the outside looking in is that you're very prominent in the music space.
That's what's crazy. See, that's a whole nother farce, right? I'm not. And I've never really, like I just got to explain it to you.
Yeah.
I've never really tried to be.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying from the outside looking
Yeah.
in, especially with a show called Hip Hop Uncovered.
But it's me telling the story of hip hop. But then guess what I did? I told the story of the people behind hip hop.
Yeah.
I told the story of the people, the unsung people that you don't see, who done hip hop, who's making hip hop.
I think you guys made a great job of correlating how hip hop and kind of the street life go hand in hand in a lot of situations.
We in the process, like right now I'm talking to FX, I got some other people at the table to redo some other things. We're talking about switching it. But you know there ain't no money in documentaries.
Yeah.
You know, I've done enough of those. Where's my manager?
Trying to hit the
I don't
big
know if we
swing.
can talk about that.
I don't think they.
They're downstairs eating sushi.
Oh, well, I got some scripts I wrote. We got a meeting with Fox on the 10th, and then we got a meeting on the 28th with FX, and we got some stuff on scripted projects that I wrote. You know what I mean, and created. But like I said, you know.
So I'm just curious to know how this works. Like you just go all in with FX. They film the whole thing. You just get to say what to put in, what not to put in. Like,
well, because of the success I have, and then my history, that they know, they can see it. They know what you've been doing, and so now I'm kind of like, you know, I'm you know how you got the football, you got a football stand. I'm not in the bleachers no more. I'm on the field. I'm a player, but I'm not a coach.
Yeah.
I'm not a starting player. I'm just on the team.
You in the uniform.
You know, I'm in the uniform. I can go on the field. I'm one of the 11 every now and then. I'm probably on special teams. When I get another hit, now I'm a starter.
Yeah.
Now they can say, well, you want to, and I get another hit. Now I'm a coach. And then another hit. Now, goddamn it, I'm an owner of a team.
That's just
not
crazy.
owner of the not owner of the league, but owner of a team. So you got to look at it like people who are owners of the team are your
Dame Dashes and
no,
he's a
no.
minor.
That's my brother, but he ain't there yet. He ain't. He a little bit. He's a starter, but
Mark Cuban.
yeah, Mark Cuban, the fucking what's his name?
Cowboys.
Medea.
You know who just got speaking of that on the team, a percentage of the Broncos, I believe it was Condoleezza Rice, if I'm not mistaken. But there's a black woman. Who just bought a percentage of
it's
the
not
Denver Broncos.
Condoleezza Rice. It's what's that sister name? Okay, yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah, she did. Yeah,
I was like, damn.
she became a stakeholder. But I mean, and it's like, with where I am right now, I'm in a good space to be able to present stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it takes a lot to be able to get there.
You got
for
their
them
eyes
to
and
even,
ears.
for them to be able to listen to or even get a meeting to even pitch something. And then I'm not even there. I still got to go with side by side with somebody else to go. You know what I mean? To do it. And so, like, if you go watch Force of Execution, my first project, I should have got there. But it was such a beef going on with that. They didn't want to Taft-Harden me for my writing because all the different, like if you think it's mafia ties in music and this other shit, that ain't got shit to do with film. This shit is more mafia ties to the writing, like, and I ain't gonna say nothing bad because I don't want the white people to. I don't care about hip hop.
But this is my check over here.
Yes, and it's different because it's rules. It's rules to all this shit. Let me tell you, because even when Hip Hop Uncovered was coming out, right, they hit me up and they like, hey, they tell my manager, tell Big U, we want him to take some of this other stuff down off his Instagram and his Twitter. And I'm looking like, or what? I don't know, man. They probably ain't gonna put the movie up. So everybody's like, it's Big, you gonna take it down. All the producers, and I'm like, I couldn't wait to take that shit down.
Right.
I'm like, what is it you want me to take down? I thought it was gonna, but one thing I drew the line. And I'm like, even before I knew they sent me the list of what they wanted me to take off my page, I'm not taking nothing down about Minister Farrakhan. I'm not taking nothing down about my religion. And I'm not taking nothing down about my convictions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then what they had me take down was the most simplest of some dealing with like Disney, and it was some dealing with like, it was like maybe 5 things. And it was nothing. I'm like, damn, I don't even remember putting this shit up. Like it was not. I thought it would be something like with homosexuality or something like that.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be something like that. It was none of that. It was like,
But the closer you get to the money, the more they start to want to watch who they shorting with. That goes back to Jay-Z. People are like, oh, he's soft, this and that. No, Jay-Z's a billionaire. And when you running with that crowd,
I'm taking it down. I don't care what
you
nobody
can't talk
says.
about no more. Like,
I'm taking
I
it
don't
down.
hear about the drugs and the guns no more.
Taking it
You
down.
have to talk about something else.
It's about growth, though. I mean, I had did this. I had a group talk with some brothers, and they was talking about. They asked me about was it hard when I made the change with my homeboys, and I'm like, it was hard. Ain't no lie, and I was scared to a point because, at the age I was, it was at the height of banging.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, my homie's like, man, you got Jim Jones. You done read that book, you got Jim Jones. I'm like, shit, damn, did I get Jim Jones? Am I tripping? You know what I mean? Like, damn, I'm talking about, I ain't banging like that, man. I ain't killing no black man. You know what I'm saying? And the homie's like, man, you tripping. And to them, they was losing a great one.
Yeah.
And then to my mother, and everybody was trying to reinforce that ideology, was like, yeah, keep going. And my mother's stout, devout Christian, like, damn, I don't want you to be no Muslim either, though.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck it, just be a Muslim. Jones, you ain't out there in the streets. So, but to my homies, it was like, it was a wobbler, like, we losing the homie. Then walking the prison yard, teaching and not being, whatever you're going to be. And, it was a wobbler, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, but then, no matter what, I'm riding. So it didn't matter, you know what I'm saying? And the homies knew that.
And you can do that. You can walk. You can do that.
Yeah, well,
You give them a lot of respect doing that. Like that.
I could do it, but I didn't do it. But then, when it came down to issues in prison, I rolled with it. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't never gonna be back there, and that would piss off the community because they like, bro, you can't. I ain't on no fence.
Yeah.
I ain't on no fence. This is what it is. I'm riding with my homeboys. Period. I'm riding with my homeboys, and this is what I do. This is my religion. This is what we do. But I'm riding with my team. These are the niggas I grew up with. And it ain't said nowhere in the book to leave your tribe.
Yeah.
It say take your tribe with you. You know what I mean? And I try to do that. Take my tribe with me to a better way of life and a better way of thinking. So when I come home in 2004, I come home with that mentality to bring and take my tribe with me.
Mm-hmm.
And my tribe being the Crenshaw community. You know what I mean? And so I have tried to do that. And I've been very successful in doing that. Because before I came home in 2004, you didn't hear Crenshaw hollered across. Nothing.
Yeah.
You didn't hear it. If you wanted to hear West LA or you wanted to hear anything, it was talking about California, it was Compton, Watts, Long Beach. Think about it.
Yeah, but I think
I want to say Tupac does have a song where he mentions Crenshaw.
No, everybody got songs where they mention Crenshaw. That goes all the way back to Corrupt was the first one to holler Crenshaw.
Yeah.
No, CJ Mack, Dub C, everybody, but nothing's been like Crenshaw but the movies.
Yeah.
You gotta understand, the first time you really seen it or got it represented in music was Corrupt, CJ Mack, and them. But when I came home, I brought the culture.
Yeah.
In fact, I brought the culture.
Well, you were part of the culture because I don't know if you've seen it or not, but
Where the raps at? I thought you were gonna bring some raps through. We're gonna put them up here.
We didn't. I didn't know. Dope. You know, I told my manager.
I was watching the interview and just speaking of, and I guess it's a question and a statement. So the question is, have you ever just sat back and just thought about who you actually are to your community in the sense of notoriety? Because I was watching, and I'm pretty positive Tiny Lester Jr. said I had to think of a character to be in this movie.
This is so funny. Let me tell you where that came from. And it's so funny how people always tell me, you ain't on that. Listen, there's Ice Cube in the movie, but then there's Big U. My name has always been popping. Always been going. Before Ice Cube and them was doing what they was doing.
Yeah.
Tiny Lister said that. I didn't say that.
No, I'm saying.
No. I know you didn't know. I'm speaking to the internet.
Yeah.
Because it's a million people like, he didn't get the name. Well, goddamn it, I never said he got the name from me. I never said, who was the character? Zeus?
Debo.
No, Debo.
Debo.
I ain't said shit about Debo coming from me.
Yeah.
That's what Tiny Lister said.
He based his character off of you.
Have you talked to him about it?
No, he died.
No, I mean,
Let me tell you, the day I managed him.
Okay.
Remember when I was saying I was doing movies? I was managing Tiny Lister. I was managing Ving Rhames. I was managing all of them, putting them in movies and doing all that stuff. And so that's our friendship. But him hearing about me, who wouldn't have heard about me? I was on the West Side. You know what I'm saying? You hear about all the legends, like Baby Gangster from Santana Block. You're going to hear about him. You're going to hear about Dale Dog, Main Street. These are real dudes whose names was going at that time in the streets. He could have picked any name and say he was picking it out of that. If he said mine, then I'm humble, like, okay. You know what I mean? But you could have, it's a million dudes could have said Monster Cody. That's
You
the
don't have
biggest.
to take his bike like that, though.
Yeah, but I ain't
Talking about his both ours.
You know what I'm saying? Because to me, the biggest name to me was Monster Cody. It was either Monster Cody, Tookie, all of them dudes. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. They blame me for all kind of shit.
But
So you crossed paths with all these people, though, right? I heard you say in the Uncovered series that, Harry O was someone who you looked up to or learned
I
a
did
lot
time with Harry O. Harry O. Harry O was one of the dudes who helped me with my music my music entertainment education.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was on the yard. He already had the experience. He gave me multiple books to read. You know what I mean? So he was very influential on my education in Booksmart. Suge, in turn, on me being released, was actually instrumental in the application of it. Because now, I'm learning the terminology from Suge. I mean, from Harry O, points, splits, and all that. But when I get home, I'm actually with Suge, and I'm actually going to meetings and actually seeing this shit really.
Is that how that connection happens, though, through Harry O?
No, it happened through me and Suge happened through Corrupt, and then my little brother get killed in '99. So when I come home, Suge looks out for me when I come home. He's a good friend, and so that's that relationship. And so now I build from there. And then when I feel like I've been with him for 3-some years, it was time for me to go do my own thing.
Yeah.
And then that's when I ventured out. And here go a great one. I actually met Ving Rhames because of Nipsey's music. You see what I'm saying? So it was Nipsey's music that actually helped me get. Well, I had already did my first TV project, me and Steve.
Yeah.
But it was meeting Ving that kind of catapulted me from the next level because I had already did Jam Master Jay, two turntables and microphone, and we did Bone Thugs, I Tried movie. I did that, and then Ving came.
So if you would have never had the background in the movies, that meeting with Ving Rhames would have just been a meeting.
No, if I wouldn't have had the background in music. Then yeah.
But do you think he trusted you to manage him because you knew what you were doing with the movie scene already?
Not at all. Not at all. He trusted me to manage him because he just wanted to help me.
Oh, word.
You know what I mean? It was no skills. It was nothing. I had no clue. You know what I mean? It was just like, man, I want to help you. You want to do this? I see this what you're talking about. You're a good brother. I like you. Look, you can manage me for everything that, doesn't require me to have a whole full-scale team doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was just him. Then I met Tiny Lister. He was like, man, okay, bro, you doing this? I'm like, yeah, let me manage you. All right, cool. You find me some work. Then now I'm like on the phones. I'm hearing about people doing those jobs. I'm hooking up with ladies that's doing casting. And I'm like, I got Tiny Lister. I got Ving Rhames. So I'm just locked in with all the big black actors, and I'm like, and I'm locking in with them. And so it was really like I had no skills in doing. I haven't had no phone numbers. But then after beating them, now I'm doing small film. I'm doing small movies. I'm putting them in them for 60 and 90, 100,000. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting about 10% off of that, earn Some cases they'd be like, take 20. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to work for mine.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be, come in and somebody, give me something. I really wanted to work for it.
Yeah.
I really wanted the relationship because I wanted the camera. I really wanted to, to really be involved with this camera, with this film business. Because music was like, it was easy to me. And it still is to this day. It's like, boy, call him, get a relationship with him, get a beat, get a song. And then, who really wants to be having to carry a goddamn gun everywhere you go?
Yeah.
It's different. Now watch. We sitting in this room. We're messing with y'all. We in a hidden room. But guess what? If we go to now it's the big U, this, and all this drama, right? Which I didn't cause none of it, right? But if I go in a room, a hip-hop room, it's dramatized, it's this. What can we ask you? What can we say? And then people are like, man, you got to be vest on. You know what I mean? This big crip is coming. I ain't cripped in 50 years, but who cares about that? But when I go into a film room, guess how they walk? Guess how they looking at it? Got a great story. Can we do the story on your life? Not yet. Do you got any stories to tell? It's a difference. Yeah. It's a major difference. The atmosphere is different. I'm in here with the Jews and the whites and the blacks and the whoever, Hispanics, blacks, woo, water, whatever, and they want the stories. They want to see me. Because they looking at me like, oh, can we just do a little bit of your prison story then? Now, where you want to be? Where would you really want to be?
Yeah.
I don't want to be doing that. I don't want to be nowhere everywhere I got to go. I got to carry a gun and niggas talking about my past. You know what I mean? That's all you're going to glorify is my past. Yeah. Or do you want to go somewhere they talking about writing a story on your past and giving you a check for your past and then saying, look, let's do some more stuff. You got any more ideas? You got any kid stories that we can do off of your story? Where you want to be at?
For real.
I don't want that shit. You can have it.
For real.
You know what I mean? So it just, it's disappointing because we haven't gotten to the point to where in our life, and I'm saying us as a black and brown community where we can allow a man to be a man. I'm probably the only vilified person on the internet who doesn't go on the internet and beat his chest.
Yeah.
Go on my page, go on my internet, and tell me how many times you have seen me on there hollering, I'm Big U, I'm rolling 60, I'm going to kill this and I'm going to do that. I'm going to beat this, I'm going to do that. Tell me how many times you ever seen me do that. You haven't. I don't do that.
And so people got to make up the stories themselves.
So you know what happens? If I respond to one thing, now it's boo 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 boo. So you know what I don't do? I don't respond to none of it no more. Because it's the bullshit. And then people ask me, I don't even care about the silly question. Because at some point, it is what it is. People want me to be a gorilla forever. It doesn't sell if I can read, write, and I know a little bit. It doesn't sell. Because you need a villain.
Yeah.
You need it. You got to have a villain. I'm not interested if I'm intelligent.
And that sucks. And that sucks about our culture is that, that's what we look for. That's what the clicks we look for. We want to see the controversial. You don't want to hear about the helping the kids get meals and get shoes. And they're like, so
none of that.
So what?
We don't want to see none of that. We want to go off like the Hispanic thing. I say I knocked out 32 Hispanics. What's this crazy one? I ain't never say that. Y'all know who said that.
Yeah.
If you go see the interview.
Yeah.
I never said that.
It never came out of your mouth.
Never came out of my mouth. And then we was joking. So I went with the joke. It was a joke. We went with the joke. We sitting and I'm like, well, there is an incident. But it was not one race. It was two races versus black people. And I said it. But I ain't going to clear it up because the ignorant people who didn't watch the real video continuously to quote and misquote something. So you know what I sit back and say? You want to do it.
Yeah, of course.
You want to go on here and misquote something that was never said by me, was said by somebody. Then not only is it so funny because it's so ignorant, because he was saying he was with me. And we've never been together. And in fact, I've never been to Pelican Bay.
It just shows how misguided people are, and they don't even.
It
seek
shows you
truth.
the internet. They don't want to see the truth. They want to be able to hashtag Big U. Big U said, well, God damn it. No, I didn't. So you want to go when I did say, we on a joking show. It's a joke. You know, everybody, and I'm like, where are you going with it? We ain't never been together. I'm 10 years older than him.
Yeah.
And we ain't never been together, but he says this. Then he goes, so I'm like, people gonna be ignorant, man. They gotta just do what they gonna do. And it's so funny because I look at this shit and I be like, Big U said, and sometime I go on there from my page and I never been to Pelican Bay. And I just say that. And then I'll be like, somebody finally realized that was Big U. And then I'll say, I never said that. Go find where I said that.
Yeah.
But it's the age-old thing, man. They'll come out and say, I did a whole lot of things. And I mean, you got all these people that make so much money off the demise of Nipsey, right? And you see all these different... I feel like, to me, the internet swelled after Nip's death. And the success of these bitch-ass niggas came after Nip's death.
Oh, yeah.
With them lying and doing what they doing. People seen a way to do that.
And in 15 minutes, everybody wanted to get a piece.
But they start making money, though.
Yeah.
And the hard part is nobody really gave a damn. You know what I mean? And then there are those who do and who did and who still do to this day. But that get lost in the ignorance that went for 3 years after that. And they got to make somebody a villain. You know what I mean? And so we sit and we see it grew. Yeah. And why did it grow? And I try to analyze this shit in my head. Because they want me to write books about it. They want me to write stories about it. They want me to talk about it. And I'm talking about it for y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because everybody want to ask me the question. But I look at it and I say, man, it's so hurtful because nobody stood up for him. You know, and then I try in the beginning and I realized, no, you can't just make it worse. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You try to speak to it. You say everything you're going to say. You speak about the things, try to, stay positive. Then it's like, you get overwhelmed. Shit, I'm a man with kids, family, feelings, and all that. You know what I mean? I ain't big. You ain't standing on the corner with no bunch of guns telling my mama do this. Nah, nigga, I got feelings too.
Yeah.
I never got a chance to mourn the loss of somebody who was dear to me.
Yeah.
Who came and got me. But why you don't ever address it? Why would I address it when you can see clearly I'm promoting this music all through my Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter? Me and him are together, and I'm in the studio with this man eating breakfast. He got the same look talking about Victory Lap, 3 days, and so it's so crazy because the internet and so many people took that and no consciousness of the family, how the family feeling. Yeah. I'm just a truthful person. If I don't like you, don't mess with you, am I supposed to candy coat it?
No.
Or do I tell the truth?
That's how you keep the real.
So most people tell me now, and they right, don't say nothing. Okay, now I had to learn the hard way. Fuck it, don't say nothing.
How hard is it to zone all that out though in the middle of you trying to do positive work? Because to a certain extent, I'm sure you hear some real asinine stuff where you're just this is crazy right now. And as a father, your kids hear that about you.
Mm-hmm. It used to be hard. Then you get it's just a tidal wave of shit. Uh-huh. Now you get to be everybody else gets to be around you and be like, this shit just ridiculous. Yeah. So then it becomes easier when the people around you start to see how ridiculous this shit is. Because in the beginning, the people started damn, that kind of shit. Because if somebody say something about you, everybody think anything they say has a little bit of truth to it. Mm-hmm. So you don't need that little bit of question though.
Some shit's fake.
You know what I'm saying? But but nobody thinks that though. You ain't gonna think that until it's a part of your existence. Mm-hmm. Until it's a part of you and you man, that shit is so stupid. Now you But if you don't never hear nothing that sounds so crazy to you, you still thinking like, you know what I mean? Like, first of all, I was broke.
Do you think that's a maturity thing? Like, at what point did that start playing a factor in your life?
Nah, it never was a maturity thing with me because I've already matured. I was already came home with the mentality I'm gonna help people. I already came home with the mentality I'm gonna help build him. I didn't want to be in the front. My idea was not to be the front man or be a star in the movie until I signed a contract before he died.
I'm talking about more in the sense of someone calling you out your name. Like, to me, I feel like, like you
No,
don't
I ain't
know
matured
us.
past that.
Yeah.
I haven't matured past that. Like you see, man.
Because I got to address it.
Yeah. No,
Especially if it's someone I know.
I gotta
I
address
think
it.
in your case is different in the sense
No, it
that...
ain't my case.
that-
I'm waiting to catch it.
No, I'm talking about you got people that talk about you who you never even met.
Right. And
Right.
then
But
it's money.
when it's someone that you know that's calling you out your name, I feel like that's something that's hard to just shake.
Who shook it? No, but I'm shaking it now though. I'm past it now. I'm past it as of like I'm not for real though. Real talk. No, I don't shake nothing. I don't until now. Like today is the only time I can really like say I'm finished with it. I'm not addressing it no more, which I didn't, and I'm past it. Like I'm really like in a whole nother like level of my life. You know what I'm saying? But before now, hell no, bro. I done too much good to allow a bitch nigga who hiding somewhere to get down like that. You know what I'm just saying? Because
I feel like I
would
know what situation you're talking about, but I just mean in a general sense, like just as a man.
As a man, as a man, you gonna stand as a man. If I stand right here and I disrespect you for no apparent reason, then I expect something back. You know what I mean? I ain't never telling none of my kids to allow somebody to disrespect them.
Okay.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna tell my son to allow no man to disrespect him. Period. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna be. I learned a long time ago. My mother told me, "Look, if you at school, don't fight at school. Wait till after school."
That's the best.
I had to learn that the hard way. You know what I'm saying? And I fought at school sometime, and I got in trouble. And she was like, "Okay, you got that one, but now I'm finna whoop you because you could have did it a different way." But even before now, I was in a different space with niggas accusing me of shit, saying shit, fuck shit, and it don't just hurt; it costs you money. See, that's what people didn't realize.
Yeah.
They cost me a lot of money when they started saying that shit. It cost me a whole lot of money, whole lot of contracts that I should have got that I didn't get from people who would assume that even if it ain't true, we don't want to be around.
Well, it's out there.
Just in case it is true. You know what I mean? So I lost a lot of money. You wouldn't even believe. I lost a lot of money with people who would be like, I lost a whole lot of money, lost a whole lot of contracts that was supposed to come. I was supposed to be in a different position. You know what I'm saying? But you have to deal with that. So I say, okay, well, you know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. You know what I mean? But at the end and beginning of the day, only thing I can do is stand on my own truth. I can't stand on nothing else. You ain't never gonna have no paperwork on me. You ain't never gonna have me did no fuck shit to nobody. And I ain't never did nothing to nobody I loved or hurt. Or hurt nobody I loved at no other period. You know what I mean? I was finished with what I was finished with back in the days. You know what I mean? Yeah. I came home to be a better man. And then if my work doesn't speak for what I've been doing, then what would ever speak for it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Fortunately, all that stuff can take money out your pocket, but you being who you are and being true to yourself, ultimately even just put you in a position to lose that much money because a lot of niggas will never even have the opportunity to even think they can make the amount of money you've lost, let alone the money you have made, let alone the money that's gonna be coming still. Yeah, it's coming, and I'm happy that the trial is finally over. I'm happy that the trial is finally over, like Nipsey trial is finally that's the one we can talk about because that was a fucking major thorn with these fuckheads on the internet. You know what I'm saying? So I'm finally glad. I'm happy that's over. Yeah.
if nothing else in my life, I'm happy that's finally over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if nothing else, like damn.
Did you follow that case pretty closely?
Nah, I didn't follow it. It was really nothing to follow. Like, dude was sick
knew.
mentally, and he did some fuck shit. Yeah. Excuse my language. You know what I mean? And
We ain't getting monetized for this.
oh yeah, but
No, you good.
it wasn't really nothing to follow. To me, I feel like it took too long. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I wish it would have been over the next day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like trial over, woo, and then, but going this long and all that, I wish it would have already been over fast. Just to be honest with you, see, living with that and the incredible lies that these dudes will be able to tell on the internet is so crazy. It's like going to court. You ever been to trial, right?
No, I've been in a position
took a
where I
deal?
didn't have to go to trial because I was
took a deal?
red-handed. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so
you
you
caught,
know.
you caught. I mean, I got the least amount of time I could get for what I did, but I was caught, motherfucker. Yeah, ain't no trial for that.
Say you did wino time.
Huh?
They say you did wino time.
I mean, I did 7. It ain't too much, but
Where you do it at?
I did it in Beauty, Delta. I did Arrowhead.
Or you guys had levels?
Yeah.
So you was on level 1?
Um,
You was in the camp?
I was not in the beginning. Buena Vista is like one of the major like prisons out here that has the
One of those prisons with no fences.
Yeah.
They had the buildings. You had the buildings where it's straight bars, maximum security. There's medium.
You cleaned those up. You
Oh,
wasn't
no.
there. You just cleaned them
No,
up.
I mean, eventually, when you first come in, you have to, depending on like the numbers you get from when you like do an intake, you got to go in there first.
Yeah, you go
And
in
then
there.
you work
You
your
see-
way, and then you work your way down.
So how far up did you go?
I was in medium
The
security.
front lawn.
I was in medium security. Hey, I was doing chop shop. I was working chop shop. You know, I wasn't doing nothing that put me in max. You know, but I mean, I was around them niggas though. I was with them niggas on the yard. It ain't like I was not around them motherfuckers.
Because, it's level 4s, level 2s, level 3s, and then on each one of those levels, they always have a smaller level to make them function outside.
No, they don't do that like out here. No, you on the level you on, and that's it. Like it's you got your super max, medium, and your I forgot the camps. Yeah.
You still ain't told us where you was, though.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I moved around to fucking
You did 7, right?
six, seven prisons
Okay.
because they don't like to keep people in places for too long.
They make money off
they'll move you.
transit.
Yeah, I did private prisons, like the state prisons. You know, fucking. I don't.
What year were you
I
going?
probably 97 to 05. Ish,
Okay.
04, 05.
97, 05. That was good years. How old are you?
45. Just turned 45 Wednesday, July 20th.
Just a baby.
You know, like little youngster still,
Yeah.
I guess, to some people.
You 10 years younger than me.
Hey, but my brother John, he's 10 years younger than me. He swear I'm old as fuck.
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes. Kind of how it goes.
I really want to ask you a couple questions.
I charge $100 a question.
I don't think you will for this one. You ready?
Oh, okay.
Life or death, or all eyes on me?
Dear Mama, Mary's Got a Baby, Machiavelli, let me see, Brenda. Everything Tupac, bro, just without a doubt.
Tupac.
I already knew. You see?
I mean, I had to ask
That
though.
whole debate.
Everything
I
Tupac.
had to ask.
It's not even close, bro.
I mean, Pac was a teacher. Pac was a teacher, an educator, and a thug. I thought I would have been. Dude, a better question would have asked me who would I have fit into if I could take myself and which one would I fit into. I'm fat like Biggie, but my brain and my mind works like Pac's.
The activism is definitely there too.
And being the thug.
Some of his speeches are just like super incredible to listen to. I don't know if you ever heard the one where he's talking to a bunch of people in the room and he's just talking about like how you can't be a man if you walk past a home and people are starving and stuff
I
like
ain't seen
that.
that one.
It's really incredible to hear him speak. I never heard no Biggie speech. I don't know if there's any.
You got to do that.
I have a question here for like our what we do, man. We try to empower a lot of the artists here to, we try to fund them and give them a platform and studio time and stuff like that. We sign artists, give them a salary, and help them do this full time. So I was listening to the episode of Hip Hop Uncovered where you guys were talking to Trick, and he's talking about the no fly zone out in Detroit. Was there something similar to that in LA?
Not that I knew of. I mean, people tried to say it was with me and Suge, and I never knew. I ain't never had a problem with artists coming to LA. Just to be honest with you.
So here in Denver, a lot of the local artists don't get to get paid. They don't get to. They gotta basically make the money and space for whatever artist comes here. Do you feel like something like that may be necessary here in order to put a
Okay,
music scene
now
on?
I totally humbly agree with that because now let me say I never seen a no fly zone in LA, but there definitely needs to be one. There needs to definitely be, and there needs to be one in LA, and that wouldn't even be with no fly zone for the artists. It would be, and let me be clear, a no fly zone for the producers of the what they call it? Not producers. Are they producers? No, what do they call to do the show? To do the clubs?
Oh,
Promoters. It would be a no fly zone for the promoters. Because in my experiences, promoters tend to say, fuck the LA artists. We only want to bring in artists from all over. And then their likeness, their complaint is that he's gang affiliated. He's this. He gonna bring the wrong crowd. Well, nigga, how the fuck you say Lil Wayne is gang affiliated? But you giving him 100,000, telling the artists from LA that they can't perform, and so
they
we
gotta
seen
pay.
that a lot. We seen that a lot when we was doing Nip was coming out, and people wouldn't let us come in,
Yeah.
and so that probably was at that time where we was moving a little strong, and we was after promoters in that way, but it wouldn't definitely never be with the artists, and I don't think Tricks was with the artist. Trick was really with the promoter, not the artist. And I think it got
So they're the ones
spun
that
like
book the
that.
shows.
Yeah, it got spun like that. And then I think Rick, they was just stopping the show because Rick Ross had already got his money.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they was interfering with Rick money. He got his back end already. Once you land there, he get his front end. That really doesn't hurt Rick Ross. You know what I mean? And I think people that got lost in the sauce and it got spent like he was on Rick. He wasn't. It was the promoters. Like y'all need to start putting people on. Like if you talk like even with y'all experience right now, it's not with the artists.
No, yeah, it's
with
definitely
the
with the
promoters.
promoter, yeah. And it's crazy you mentioned Rick Ross because our last incident was with a Rick Ross show where a lot of artists had to pay to get on the show. You know what I mean? But no one gets paid
Right.
from these shows, and it's just
You think that's
Someone's gotta
that's
give.
needed for the structure of any good hip hop culture? To manage is to
Come on, man.
have a
Like,
gatekeeper of some sort.
you got to. You got to. And I don't know how it gets put together. If I'm a promoter and I'm doing big shows and I know it, then I'll reach out and say, okay, well, give me one or two. I can only put them in the front of the show. Okay, boom, yeah, at least you put them on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let me put them on. Tell them to sell 35 tickets, 100 tickets, 200 tickets. Then make it work. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't think that's too much to ask for.
Are there gatekeepers now in the Los Angeles music and film industry that you work with directly?
Yeah, I don't
definitely
not that I work with in music, because I'm kind of like, like it's a couple of kids I want to mess with that I'm gonna mess with.
So I was going to ask that.
Yeah, it's a couple of kids. One of them name is Gavin. He's a white kid. He's very talented. Then OSBS, of course, Smoke, and Feezy, and 6 a.m. and then Criticality is my artist. So, and then TD is about to start doing music again. So it's a couple of people that I mess with that I like, I'm dealing with, but I'm waiting for them. Like I haven't been to no award shows because I'm probably even doing some sports coaching or some of that.
Yeah.
And there's no reason for me to go unless I got an artist there.
Yeah. You got your hands involved in a lot of things, and all of them sound productive. And I think that's probably why you're in the position that you're in now. It's unfortunate that people have a fucked up misconception about you, and just because of the internet, you know what I'm saying? But it's opportunities like these that what we like to do, what we created this platform is just to sit down with artists, and create a organic situation and just chop it up and just talk on some real ass nigga shit. Really, not just make it business or make it yada yada yada. There's a lot more to people than what is provided by outlets a lot of the time.
Man, let them say what they gonna say.
Yeah, it is, but like you got a lot of fans. You got a lot of people that look out for you, bro. That look to see the last
man, your
shit
whole
you put
team
out.
made sure you were good before you got here. That says a lot about you, the respect that carries your name.
Oh,
It does. I'll tell you.
I move. I believe and I move correct. You feel me? So, with that said, I don't go places I know I'm not supposed to go.
Yeah.
But I move how I move because I think you get what you got coming to you.
Yeah, you go looking
I don't
for
think
it.
there's a lot of places you can't go though.
Yeah, I don't feel like I've done nothing to warrant nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't feel like I've done nothing. I don't push violence against no man or race. I don't push Crippin versus Bloodin. I don't push black versus brown. I don't push hate in no way. That's just not what I do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now you can get all these other lies, but that's just not what I do. I don't go do that. You know what I mean? And then I feel like the majority of the people who follows this internet, the idiot box, are rural people who really have nothing else to do in life. And then we are the movers and shakers who take the time to make thought become matter, and we reduce it down from a terrific speed to make it be physical, and it becomes a show. Mm-hmm. And that we are the ones who says, this is or this and that, or let's get to the bottom of this. And that's what we do. You know what I mean? And so, but as far as me, I don't have no fear, and not because I'm tough. I don't have no fear because I ain't did shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's a difference.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean, like
you
again,
kicking up dust, then
you're kicking up dust. You supposed to. Yeah. If you're not kicking up dust, I'm gonna greet the man with a handshake, unless it turn into a fist.
Yeah.
His handshake turned into a fist. But as far as mine's the handshake, I ain't done shit to nobody. I don't go and diss nobody. I'm trying to do business with whoever I do business with, and that's only way you can move. You can't move nowhere else in no other way. There's places in LA that I don't go, and not because of the internet, but because
for reasons.
You never know how the energy is right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then I see people out all the time, and they look at me as this older dude. He a G. He don't disrespect people. He not hollering and doing this. In spite of all the other shit, you know what I mean? People gonna see you and they're gonna be like, okay, that's how he moving. And that's just like if this interview is about Big U, I'm gonna give it to you how you want. I can go in there and talk about how tough I am. I train every day still. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? When I leave here, we're going to go work out. You feel me? And I like to do that. You know what I mean? So that's just what it is. But I'm gonna still be doing something positive. I'm not going to be doing something negative. I'm not going to be saying something negative about you and you to get, I'm not going to do that. It's not what I'm going to do.
What about this crazy rumor that we got to clear up, though, real quick, about the Kobe and Michael Jordan debate? What's the
How much time we got? Is it a time clock? So let me get this, because we might need a lot of time. Now, this is my manager going to try to run in here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay? It didn't start off with Kobe and Michael Jordan. Uh-huh. It started off with it started off with Scottie Pippen not getting no respect.
Oh.
And I was saying, and I want y'all to take this. I'm gonna say a couple of things. Take Scottie Pippen. When. So I used Shaq and Kobe, and here go the argument. When Michael Jordan retired the first time, question: did the Bulls fall off?
Well, as far as
When I
winning
remember,
titles, if you want to call that.
No, that's not falling off. Now, when Shaq retired and when Shaq left the Lakers, did the Lakers fall off?
No.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, they did.
Well, for Kobe still.
No. We didn't even make the playoffs.
But for how many years, though?
3 years.
3 years?
Yeah, until they
And we got swept by
100.
Arizona.
Because he won one in.
Now here go
Miami.
my point.
Yeah.
That's falling off. When Shaq left, we tanked. We fell off. When Jordan left, Chicago Bulls with Scottie Pippen, Kukoc, went to the second round the first time. Then they lost to Orlando when Jordan came back in the first round to Orlando. That's not falling off.
Not falling off.
Now, here go my point. People like to say Jordan never lost. Well, Jordan never lost in the finals. Okay, we get that. Never went to Game 7. I get that. But the team Jordan came back with, arguably one of the best teams in the history of basketball. When Jordan came back that second year, the second time for the three-peat, he came back with arguably the best defender and rebounder in all of history in basketball. He came back with one of the most wanted one guard, Ron Harper.
Yeah, Ron Harper.
And then he came back with Steve Kerr,
Best shooter,
who developed into the best shooter. And then he already had Scottie Pippen and Luke Longley and all them other dudes. So I'm saying this. When he came back, that was not a team. They wasn't questioning if they were going to win. The question was, how many are they going to win? Think about that team.
Yeah.
But who's a better player?
Okay, now, answer this. There's no
That's what I
such thing
wanna
as a
know.
better player.
Yeah, there is.
No, it ain't. Let me tell you why. He go a question for you, right? It's gonna make you fit into the circle. If you remove Jordan off of that team and you put Kobe on that team, do you think they win the 7 amount of championships?
I think the team falls apart. That's why Shaq left.
No. I'm saying if you take Jordan off of the Chicago Bull team,
I think ideally the same person.
No, they're not.
They are.
Hold on, I'm gonna
Mentality
get-
and skill set, they're pretty much the same.
I'm gonna give it to you. Hold on. No. Just answer the question, please. If you take Kobe off of that team, that Bull team, and you take Jordan off that team, put Kobe on the team, do you think they win 3 championships?
I don't think they win with Kobe.
I think they do.
Okay, now here you go. You know where you wrong at?
Where?
Because that same team with the same coach went to the Lakers and won.
Yeah, no.
Yes, Ron Harper, Dennis Rodman, Horace Grant. They won with Kobe.
Yeah, what I'm saying is
And
at
guess
that
what?
stage though.
No. Guess what?
You're talking about prime Kobe.
They were
prime
still, but they
Jordan.
were still,
No.
they were still good players. They weren't like run down.
Kobe had them when they was old.
But he didn't win 3.
Jordan had them when
with
they.
them.
We won 3 with them. What are you talking about?
With Ron Harper and Dennis
We
Rodman.
won. Yeah, we won 2 with them. We won enough with them.
Why do I not remember Dennis Rodman there that long?
Yes, he was there. The same team. Now here go even a little more. Now here go where you miss it. Here go where you're going to have to agree with me now. You know how they say Kobe was a mock of Jordan? Why wouldn't he be? He played with the same coach in the same system.
I mean, but so did Kwame Brown.
No. Kwame Brown. Hey,
Like Shaq.
but Kwame Brown.
Shaq.
Kwame Brown played in the system that wasn't coached by Phil.
Yeah, he did. He played with Phil in the triangle.
In the trial, but I'm talking about when he was at
he wasn't no
Kwame Brown-
Shaq.
He went put Charlotte first. That's where Jordan.
He was in Charlotte. That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. He was in Charlotte.
He only played like a
He won
year.
with Phil.
Maybe 2 years with Phil. Maybe even just a year.
All
Yeah.
right, let's do Bynum.
Bynum was a winner.
I mean, but he's no Shaq. What I'm saying is
He played against Shaq, but
Shaq
no.
is better than Bynum.
We definitely we switching the
So
conversation.
there are better
now.
players all of a sudden.
Goalpost.
No, we're switching the conversation now. We're moving the pin.
No. I'm just saying. I'm going to the fact that you're saying there's no such thing as a better player.
No, I'm saying I think people are better players.
But between
I
those
just-
two,
So who's
I-
better?
but between
Michael
them two-
Jordan or Kobe?
I'm Kobe for sure.
Oh, come on, man.
I can't.
Come
agree
on,
with you
man.
that one.
Come on, man.
I hate comparing the two
no.
because
Come
I think they're 1 and 2.
I thought those were ones.
I think LeBron's 3, but I think they're 1 and 2. They're 1 and 2.
No. I'm gonna say this to you, and it's just a fact. If you follow me, you seen the post I put up where Jordan said if he think it was anybody could beat him in a 1-on-1. He said it was Kobe because Kobe stole all his moves. Let me add on to that. Kobe stole all his moves, then he created his own. And I got another one for you. What's the most famous move you have in your mind of Jordan?
Fade away.
Or the pull up
Mine's
jump
is
shot.
fade away.
The pull up to the lay or
The dunk.
The leap from
the
the free throw line?
Mine's is fade away.
Or
That was Dr. J's.
The switch hand.
The switch hands with Dr. J. Yeah. The only move Jordan ever did that Dr. J did not do was the fadeaway.
You right about that though. You right. And I've heard that.
But do you think
waiting. I'm
Do
waiting.
you think Dr. J is better than Michael Jordan?
Hey, who came first? Chicken or the egg?
But by that same with that same thing, then you would have to say Jordan's better than Kobe.
Hey, look, no, I would say Kobe.
In that case, he's the egg.
No, I would say Kobe is better because Kobe didn't have as much talent as Jordan did. The only time Kobe
He got
had
cut from the high school team.
who did?
Jordan, he wasn't just naturally talented. He worked to get
And
there.
Kobe did too.
Yeah, he did. He worked his way into second place.
I mean, sometimes
that's not bad. To
I
Michael Jordan.
ain't gonna argue with you. I'm just not gonna argue with you because I mean, like, look, at the end and the beginning of the day,
Oh,
Kobe played.
we're good.
See, you messed up. The Kobe guys is on you. Yeah, you better be careful driving home. Yeah.
We really enjoyed this time with you, man. I hope we were on a positive note. We really want you to meet A. Meezy. He's a really dope artist here in the city, and he's got some questions for you, more music-based, that he's really curious about, and we're excited to get you to meet him. I don't know if there's anything you want to promote on our small platform, anything that you got coming up.
Crenshaw Minis. Crenshaw Minis is our pre-roll. That's about to hit Denver. We should come out here in this moment to do a deal with them.
Okay.
So we'll be dropping those soon. We're just waiting to figure out.
We'll be smoking those as soon as they drop.
Yeah, we're looking for sponsors.
All premium.
Flour,
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you know, most minis they do
shake.
shake and all that. We know it's all premium. It's OG.
Okay.
So then I don't know if you guys seen it, the blue packs. Go follow Crenshaw Minis.
Okay.
We'll make sure we put them in the vlog by the time this comes out. We'll definitely have them in there for sure.
Right.
For sure. But yeah, thank you again, bro. It's been a really special occasion for us to be able to sit down and pick your brain and hear some stories and just chop it up and have a good time with you, man. Like it's a real dope to be able to do that. And we appreciate you coming to our platform and sharing with us and all of our people that follow us.
And then the thing about it is, people, they really don't give you a haircut.
Oh, we do.
If you
Well,
need
so
one,
next
we
time
got you.
next time
don't
Big
shave,
U's back, we gonna have him in the original spot in a barber chair, and we gonna show y'all how we do it.
Brother ain't getting no oil for his beard or nothing.
But now we know your comfort level. You know what I'm saying? Like we just want to make sure this first time, this initial, one is.
Well, I definitely got to come back out here because we doing this deal. We doing a deal. Like I said, with
The minis.
with the minis.
We're gonna get you to the shop. We got the studio. Like you know what I'm saying? We could put some product up, and we'll let you see how the original Barbershop Uncut.
And you really need to get your prison record. We got to make sure.
Hey, my shit is online.
Oh, we didn't even talk about developing option.
The who?
Okay, let's talk about it.
Yeah. Okay, we can talk about developing option. So, developing option. My love. One of the most things I'm proud of and all the things I've ever done in my whole entire life is helping kids, giving back to our community. It's been responsible in helping to reduce the gang violence throughout LA. I heard a lot of little stuff that they said on the internet about little, I don't want to cuss too much. Little fuck shit that they saying.
Say all you want.
But the fact of the matter is, believe all the shit you want to believe, but know the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Know the truth. You sound silly saying shit about somebody with paperwork and all that shit. We do the work of our community. When I came home in 2004, one of my other partners had the contract in our area, which was the 60's. And they was hiring people who was not from our area to do what they was doing. I went to school, fresh out. I went to East LA College for 2.5 years to get the contract. Then we got the contract. When we sat down with the contract, now I've said this multiple times before. We sat down with the contract and we told them how we was gonna do it. The contract is not with LAPD. It's a contract with the city of LA. And they fund LAPD, all the different organizations.
Yeah.
You don't have to do nothing to go in, because the police don't want to do but lock you up. They don't need nothing from us and nobody else. Secondly, there's a weirdo talking about if he had it, he would be looked at and scrutinized. You definitely probably would,
Yeah.
because you ain't me.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a difference. Some people can do what other people can't do because they trust it. If you trust it in your area, in your section, in your community, your homies you can do certain things that other weirdos can't do. Secondly, in every institution we have been in, there's always been somebody who spoke for the car to other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some trusted, some not. I mean, if you can't be me, you just can't be me. And I'm tested and proven.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like fact on fact. And the bullshit is always going to be what it's going to be, bullshit. But what can you say? We going to continue to do what we're doing because we have been successful in getting kids out. I have one of the biggest programs with more kids, black and brown, in it. Most of these kids play football for free. We get them tutoring for free. They get educated for free. That's not even a part of what we do as licensed in the contract. You know what I mean? And it's all about who you are. Because a bitch nigga gonna be a bitch nigga regardless. And a real one gonna be a real one. So that's kind of like what I wanted to say on that. But I mean, look, if it's bad, it's bad. If you're a rat, you're a rat. If you bad, you bad.
Believe what you want, but know the truth.
Know the truth. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if you ain't got it and it ain't real, I ain't never in my life seen nobody come and say you got paperwork on somebody and it ain't no real paperwork. I mean, you've been to every prison. You've been to all the prisons. You've been paperwork supposed to be. Yeah. You supposed to come and show the paperwork. If you don't and you lie and you call that, you're supposed to get knocked down. Yeah. So I don't understand how your own homies ain't dealing with your situation.
And it travels with you.
And it travels with you. So that lets you know where we are with this internet stuff.
Yeah.
That shows you how low we are. And the reason why I don't address it, because it ain't even about real men no more. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you accuse somebody of telling, you supposed to have paperwork and say, he told on him, he ratted on him, here go the case number, this is what he told on. I ain't never seen the shit that I see on the internet going on right now. And that's why I was saying, some shit you can forget, some you know. But I finally got to the spot where I'm like, but as far as my organization, Develop an Option, we ain't gonna never stop. We're gonna keep pushing. We're gonna keep saving lives, helping kids, and doing what we're doing.
So you have different chapters, like in different states?
No, we establishing different chapters in different states. Okay. You know what I mean? And we trying to do that vigorously. We working in different places, you know what I mean? But you need to be able to have the finances to help people to be able to just do this work. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then that's where I just came from in Colorado Springs. It's a group out there called MOI. And they are actually doing the work without getting the funding. Mm-hmm. They out there stopping violence, stopping murders, dudes' houses getting shot up, and they showing up. And I want to help them to be able to get some kind of government funding to help them be able to do this work. And it's not about, because see, what happens with us is there's no way to quantify when you stop violence, because police's job is to arrest people after they commit violence, after they commit a crime. Yeah. What we do is we prevent crimes from happening. But there's nothing to report because you can't report. If you two get into it and I'm there and we stop it, how do you report that? Okay, y'all didn't kill each other. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? People get into a fight, or it may be a domestic violence, and then, you know, you're speaking on that because you get the time to do it. So we can't quantify it. The only numbers that can really be quantified is the amount of arrests. So then when you can say arrests went down in this area, then that is attributed towards the people that's doing the work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not about arrests going up. And secondly, and secondly, I didn't want to go address this issue because I didn't want to kind of like, I'm the CEO of Developing Option. Excuse my lack for better words. Nigga, I don't go to no meetings with no police.
Yeah.
I went to school to be the CEO.
Yeah.
I don't get a phone. I don't go to no meetings. I don't write no reports. I don't do nothing. Do you know what a CEO is? The CEO, the founder, and the creator of something? I don't do that work. I'm the CEO and the founder and the creator. I mean, but that's all I'm gonna say on that though. So
Yeah.
sometimes
Let 'em know, though. Let 'em know.
sometimes shit just be stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes you gotta say it though. Sometimes you gotta say it.
But
to
bro,
let
I'm the
niggas know.
CEO.
You know.
I don't get no phone. I get the big check.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes people just say the stupidest shit. But anyway.
Well, that's a lot of cases with the police is just that they get funded through those arrest numbers, and that's what's important.
And when they go down, which we tend to do, you know what I mean? And they about to shut us down probably in the next 2-3 years because crime is not rising like they wanted to. If crime doesn't rise,
Funding goes away.
funding goes away. Funding goes away.
Yeah.
But I needed to address that.
Hey, we're glad you did.
I'm the CEO. Motherfucker. You got no goddamn phone. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? I am the CEO. Guess what I do? I get paid to travel around the country and speak about developing options.
Yeah.
Only phone I got is the ones right here. You know what I mean? And guess what else again? If I may be facetious. You just can't be me. Hello?
Hello.
And I nigga try to be me and you ain't even been me. How that gonna happen? You ain't did what I did in my neighborhood. You ain't stood up like I stood up. You ain't been shot 7 times, different times. You ain't went to war on every plantation. You ain't stood down. You ain't took every fade. I took every fade for the 60s, period. I mean, just to be on that. I took every fade. I never ran, never punked out, never nothing. And I don't got, you know what I mean? No, you ain't me. You cried my name every time. No, you can't be me. And I'm the CEO.
That's an uncut podcast right there. That's an uncut
I'm gonna go
podcast.
crazy with that one.
The Y'all Uncut. The podcast. Who else to do it but us? This is what you call uncut.
What's up, y'all, man? Live from Side 3 Studios in Denver, Colorado, man. This is the first episode, man, of In a Booth with A. Meezy, and it's a very special episode, man. You know, I have the pleasure of having Big U, the legendary Big U, in here, man. Really do appreciate you, man. It's an honor, privilege. How's Denver been treating you, man? It's been good?
Oh, it's been pretty good. I mean, you know, I'm doing some deals out here. Had a great meeting earlier today about creating some brands out here, bringing what we doing in LA out here.
That's really, really dope, man. Yeah, like I said, we're really happy to have you here, man. I really want to start my interview with you, like in a standpoint of like not necessarily where it began, but like kind of like your transition, like when you start to get back when you got into the music industry and everything. And I really am curious to know, for the people that may not know you, like how would Big U describe Big U? Like I know you wear a lot of hats. You know, you do a lot of different things, but how would you describe yourself to like people that may not know who you are?
No, I'm a hard worker, man. Dedicated to the craft, trying to help people. Really, you know what I mean? Do as much as I can. I look for the positive, and I'm a hard worker, man. I'm one of them dudes who study. I want to learn what I don't know. And as far as how long I've been in music, since about I would say about 88. No, about 86, 87.
Okay.
Yeah, 87. About 87. In 87.
When did you get into like the management part of it, or you know?
Management really is something that I kind of never really got into, really did.
Okay.
most people say I think I did management because of Nip, my relationship with Nip.
Right.
It wasn't a management relationship. Nip was actually signed to my production company, and we did management too at the same time. He was Steve because he wasn't there yet, and in the production management company, you do everything.
Right.
So you wear multiple hats, and that was one of the hats that I did. I managed Veen Rains in film, and I managed Tiny Lister in film, and I managed several other people in film. But as far as music, I pretty much with most people that I deal with is signed to my production company.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So, as far as you and Nip's relationship, it was more so he, like you said, he was signed to the production company,
yeah. So I wore multiple hats.
Just pushed them from that standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a really big fan of Nipsey Hussle personally. When I first heard him, I felt like he was my favorite artist ever is Tupac. So like I feel like he was one of the closest things to him when I first heard him.
Yeah, he was.
What exactly? Like, how did you meet him?
Nip?
Yeah.
I went looking for him. TD, my nephew, Tiny Draws, had told me about Nip, and he was like, "Go get Nip." And then I went and found him. I asked around and ended up finding him. And then we started talking, chopping it up. I wanted to see where his head was, where he was at in his music stage.
Yeah.
And he was I wanted to see if he could not do the music that I was hearing and could progress it into something that would be more productive. And he was like, "Yeah, I can do that. I can do all kind of music." I'm like, "Okay." And so we went from there. That's how we met. We met in the hood.
Yeah, he wasn't lying.
Nah, he wasn't. Because he was already sharp. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was already sharp. So, and he was versatile. He could do whatever.
That was going to be my next question. Is like, what exactly did you see in him?
Drive. Yeah. Well, Nip had a drive, an energy. You know what I mean? And it just stood out. He stood out. His work ethic. When I met him, he had a book. He had his label, the Slauson Boys. And he was talking about he wanted to do the Slauson Boys.
Yeah.
And that was his whole thing. Slauson this, Slauson Boy this, Slauson Boy that.
Yeah, he was a very, very profound. There's some people personally that like when I listen to them speak in interviews or anything, like I can't not listen to everything they say. Like it was like Tupac, Kobe Bryant, and Nipsey. Like when they speak, it's just I feel like it's always some gems that they have for you. And so it just makes you like I always felt like Nipsey was teaching all the time, and it was really dope to see. And the crazy thing about those three is that they were all taken too soon, which is to me for whatever reason they all resonated with me. Every time I would listen to them, you know what I mean. Really wish I could have met Nipsey, What kind of impact do you believe that he had on you guys' community?
I think he had a bigger impact in depth than...
Okay.
Because he was already big.
Yeah.
Like he was already... He was... What the world see now, we already seen it. You know what I mean? So I don't think it would be a question with what kind of impact he had on our community. I think it would be more of what kind of impact he had on the world. Because he was already supported by our community. Like we already had chosen him as our number one. So, it was just the world needed to catch up to where we was.
Correct. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. What do you believe, if he was still alive, would be his ceiling? Like I'm talking about as far as
Jay-Z. I see, you know what I mean? I see everything Jay-Z. He loves Jay-Z. He patterned everything he did after Jay-Z.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think Jay-Z, I don't think it's a ceiling for Jay-Z, so I don't really think it would have been a ceiling for Nip.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man, that would have been great to see. I know when it comes to Nipsey, like, he was really big into community work as well, giving back to his community.
He really had a chance to get to that.
To get too far into it, okay.
Yeah, a lot of stuff this he was going to do, he was trying to do, but he was really kind of focusing on getting his career to where it needed to be.
Yeah.
And then I was doing most of the community work.
Okay.
Already. So a lot of things we were doing, we were doing them together. You know what I mean? But he was definitely a man who was going to lead us into a different stratosphere, and that's what
Different
his
way
mind
of thinking.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was phenomenal, bro. He was like the mind that he had, and we was able to shape and form was great. You know what I mean? He was a sponge to information. He was a sponge, and the way he was able to take information and then process it and put it back out is what other people was not able to do, and that's what made him so unique
Right.
to the people who didn't know him. You know what I mean? Because it's almost a thing where people feel hurt that they didn't know as much about him while he was living.
Correct. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he was really that sharp. You know what I mean?
It almost felt like when he passed away that we all knew him in a sense. It was like, obviously I've been a big fan, but like a lot of people that I don't think were necessarily the biggest fans. Like once he passed away, I think everybody felt it. It was just like he was taken away way too soon, man. What exactly led you into the community work that you do, like wanting to give back to your community as much as you possibly do or can?
Oh, it was just in my nature when I came home. It was after living the life I lived and being where we were and doing the things we had did negative, it was natural for me to really want to help our community. People tend not to realize that as you grow, as you grow as a man, you have a kinship to your community, and you want to help your community. Mm-hmm. I started developing option before I came home from prison. Well, I started ex-offenders fellowship before I came from prison, and when I came home from prison, I started doing this work. I started coaching Pop Warner football maybe 4 months after I was released in 2004.
Okay.
I did food giveaways. I did community building. We have tutoring programs. I did all of this all of 19 years. Every time we had an event, the artists that I have, not only Nip, we highlighted them.
Yeah.
We had basketball games. Nip played in them. All the artists played in them. We had 3-day weekends that concentrate on cancer, lupus, all the different things. We rebuilt Crenshaw, helped build real parts of Crenshaw. We helped do all kind of things in our community. And this is the stuff that they were seeing me do. You know, while they were still game making in Nip. Because when I met Nip, I signed Nip in 2009. I came home in 2004. I had been doing what I was doing. And so a lot of my youngest was able to see the work that I was doing.
Right.
You know, and, wanted to be a part of that. They was helping, coming to community events, doing that, because it was involving them, because they were still at that age.
Correct.
You know what I mean? I was trying to reach them, because when I met Nip, he was 18, 19.
Okay.
So his Kyrie was 20, 21, 22.
Yeah.
And they were the target age for my work.
For that type of work, yeah.
So I was purposely going to them, talking to them, because they were at that age, and look, man, do this, we can do this. Don't want to this, no. So I was doing the work, and coming home, I came home prepared to do the work. I wrote it out, and me being a Muslim too, I studied Islam, and I wanted to do what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was doing, his plan. I wanted to follow that format and implement that in our area, in our block, in our section.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we've been successful in doing it. We helped a lot of kids.
Is there anything in the future that you may not have done yet that you are interested in getting into as far as community?
Man, I got so much stuff that I haven't done. I want my own school.
I
want my own school, I want my own building, because I feel like I could really, if I can get me 300 men, 300 boys, black boys and Mexican, whatever have you, what I would be able to get him would look like what the Nation of Islam looks like. That beautiful strength, that drive, that look, that dedication, the independence. You know what I mean? The what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was able to do. You know what I mean? Like, just realistically. and what Marcus Garvey was able to do,
Right.
and what all the different great leaders that came out of this here thing we called America was able to be able to reach. I'm doing it even to this day, but I'm doing it on a smaller scale because I'm able to get these kids out of college. I got 9 boys that graduated from college in the last 2 years. Who will go on to be leaders and who ain't in prison.
Right.
Who will be teachers, police officers, judges, whatever. Graduate from D1 colleges.
Leaders of their community.
And I got more who have been through school. You know what I mean? And I was able to put things into them to help them know and recognize community because they see the work that I've done.
It's a beautiful thing. It is. And honestly, man, if there's anything that I could be a part of, man, I would love to. I like to consider myself a leader of my community as well. Very, very big on, community work out here as well as trying to make a difference as much as we possibly can, man. You know what I mean? So I definitely respect that. Transition the conversation into, I really want to talk to you. I really want to know, because I pick your brain about like business. Is there, if you can talk about like what kind of other business ventures are you actually into currently, or what do you want to do in the future? I know you were telling us about the business that you're trying to bring here, but
film. I'm do film. Film, entertainment. That's big. That's big. That's dear to my heart.
Yeah.
But also, I just bought some trucks. I think the way to wealth is not one thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Several streams of income, as they say. Yeah.
I just bought some trucks. I've been buying real estate for years. You know what I mean? That's what I was teaching Nip about real estate and buying that. When he first bought their first fourplex, he had called me about that and how to do it, and I was telling him, you don't have to have the best credit.
Yeah.
And but it's really about different streams of income. Individually, different streams of income, but then being partners with great people.
Right.
Like my business partner, Doe Henderson, and then Mark Martin, my wife, and then, but having a great team around you to make things happen. Like I got 2 of my nieces that's working with me that's running and my little brother, Brittany and Donisha, and my little brother's running the minis in the marijuana part.
Okay.
And then Doe runs everything. Bear Claws runs developing option.
So a family business.
It's all different businesses.
Right.
And then my wife is like the real estate, and she runs Airbnbs and all that stuff that we establishing. So it's really, really, bro. It's really, to me, it's about having a team around you.
Yeah.
That you can trust, that can do like whatever. Like I get up in the morning, I have an idea. I call a lawyer. I call Doe first, then call a lawyer, and we trying to put that in motion while at the same time completing all the different things I have. And to be honest with you, you got to have a team, man. You got to have a group of people who believe in your vision, to see it happen, to see it through. Because I say, with this music industry and you want to be an artist, it's important that you give the time to the craft, but then you give the time to the community, and you give the time to the family. It's about time management. Right. Because that's the one thing we don't have enough of.
It's hard to juggle. It really
it ain't hard to juggle.
Yeah, it seems sometimes
it's only going to get worse for you.
Yeah.
If you think it's hard to juggle now, imagine if you get a hit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you never know when a hit will come.
Right. It come anytime.
It'll come anytime. You be ready to walk out the door and leave it alone and go work at the tire shop or whatever go back to college, whatever and then it hits. And then when it hits, what I like to tell artists is it becomes fast. And then when it gets fast, when they throw that bag at you, now it becomes your life and you're working 24 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a lot of people I've seen who was able to manage that. One of the greatest people I've seen able to manage that was Ludacris, T.I., Game, Snoop. And the unique thing about them versus a lot of artists I see that don't make it is they were able to go within themselves and block everything out and get this part done. then go do the other part.
Right.
And that's hard to do. You know what I mean?
Like basically prioritize this part over here, get this done, and then go back to like what else is important in your life.
Because you may not be making no money doing music.
Right.
And I see music as a road into me doing film.
Right.
You know what I mean? And vice versa. Because I'll do a film about music.
Because that's a passion for you, is film.
It's film, yeah. You know what I mean? So I would never walk away from music. And I'm looking for artists that, you know, are pushing. That's Jimmy Iovine said to me one time, a long time ago, that don't sign an artist that you got to push harder than he pushing himself.
Correct.
That's a key thing. You know what I mean?
He got to want to be great.
And you got to be calling you to see what the next move is.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people get complacent with that.
Yeah.
You know, they get a fight with their mama, their grandmother, kids, homeboys. Well, I got to deal with this.
No,
you got to come to the studio.
Yeah,
then go deal with that.
Still got a
You
job
know,
to do. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but I think though, it's about team and time. The 2 T's.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that, team and time.
Team and time.
Team and time.
Because you need a team to get somewhere.
You need a team to help manage your time, and you need time to function around this world. That's it.
Time is everything, man.
Time is everything, and it's short.
Yeah, it goes fast.
Yeah, sir.
You know, they always like to refer back to Marshawn Lynch when he said, you know, you got to save your chicken. I really wanted to, you know, get your opinion, or what kind of advice would you give people, especially in our community, about like financial literacy, you know, because, you know, a lot of people, you know, coming from our community haven't really necessarily had the money, and when they get it, you know, they want to spend it on things that they may or may not had before. You know what I'm saying?
Financial literacy, man, that's crazy.
It's real easy to like get it. How you keep it, you know.
Most people don't get it until they lose a lot of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to experience loss before you understand.
Know what to do with it.
You know what to do with it the next time. It's not a lot of people who are wealthy who didn't have experiences and loss. So financial literacy is very important. You know, it's a key to success. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a key to not being successful. You feel me?
Oh, yeah.
So either way it go. But then again, that goes back to the 2 T's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got a team, and you got to have a team, you got to have time. Because the team is going to tell you when you're messing up and when you're not messing up.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen to them, you won't take the pitfalls. If you don't listen to them, you're going to feel it.
It's like easier said than done, though. Have you had some lessons that you had to learn as well? From
I had a lot of lessons I had to learn, but it really was more of me, because I've been blessed and unfortunate to be the head of the team.
Mm-hmm.
So I've made decisions that may not have been great for us, and I made decisions that were great for us. And then I had to have people to reel me in. Say, no, let's finish this first, then we go to that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I just bought a truck out of nowhere. Now we about to be doing trucking. So I might have should have did something else before that. And then I got the minis, I got the strand. I spent a lot of money into that and making those. And so now it's somebody else who got to help manage and make those function and make those become winning companies.
Right.
You know, so I'm doing it backwards. I'm putting a team together behind the investment.
That you already decided to make.
Yeah, because I feel like, look, I got to take this now. But, you know, financial literacy, you know what I mean? So I'll take the chance because I feel like, you know.
Y'all gonna figure it out.
Yeah, the team is going to figure it out. They're going to make it work.
Yeah, no, that's dope. I do have a couple more questions. In hindsight, is there anything in your life that you may or may not regret? Or any, you know, maybe any business venture you went through that you regret? Any artists that you might have managed that's a regret? What do you?
I don't have a lot of regrets, man. I kind of like I don't have a lot of regrets. I have probably missed time with my little brother, rest in peace. You know what I mean? Because I left and then he got killed. You know what I mean? And that was dear to me because he wasn't even like my little brother, he was more like my son.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think about him often. I don't really have a lot of regrets. I feel like my relationships with my family could be stronger in all aspects. And because I got sons,
Yeah.
you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and daughters, that could be stronger. But no, I don't have a lot of regrets because I don't live for wealth. I kind of live to be. I'm one of them dudes, you know, who live to be happy. And
Yeah.
I
Life.
I ain't trying to, you know, be a filthy millionaire when I die. I ain't, you know, I'm more.
It's more about the lives that you're impacting.
Yeah. I really don't, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna rob nobody. I'm not gonna do nothing dishonorable for money. But so.
Last question I think I have is if there was one piece of advice that you could give anybody that be listening to this, like what would it be? It could be
work hard.
Anything.
It'll be work. My advice would be work hard, and get to sleep after you dead, or when you filthy rich, however you feel you want to get it, because it ain't no time for sleeping. It ain't no time for sleeping. Write the plan out. Write it out. Stick with it. If you're not hurting nobody, if you're not offending nobody, stick with it. Don't quit on it. Don't give up on it. And write it out. Because if you write it out, you'll see the flaws in it.
Yeah.
You know, when you don't write it out, you won't see the flaws like you will once you write something out.
That's part of manifestation as well.
Yeah,
Writing
definitely.
It out, believing in it, you
Definitely.
know. So, well, again, man, I really do appreciate you, Big U. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks for having me, young fella.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll be back in your town soon.
Oh yeah, we got a
little
link.
business out here.
Yeah, all right, good. I'm gonna make sure I get your info too. So appreciate it, man. Again, live from Side 3, man. This is In the Booth for A-Meezy.
Uncut Entertainment.
Man, I'm excited, bro. Real excited about today. Yeah, we got the legendary Big U. Came into town to get interviewed by us, so you know it's gonna be my first time like interviewing somebody, first of many. So I'm excited. Like I said, I was just telling them it's a different type of nervous. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same as going to doing my thing in the music industry. It's just more so like having a conversation with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Which to me, I talk too much any fucking way. So it should be interesting today. It should be very interesting. I'm excited though.
Like we got insomnia, this content make your mommy fuck. You'll never hear no capping, homie, sign me up. What the fuck? Ask about the team for real. Organically, this team was built. Living off our passion, boy, that's really how we eat for real. Hard work and dedication really caused the separation. Really about the journey though, and less about the destination. We do good business, take care of whoever with us. All this hospitality too memorable, you won't forget us.